All right, in this video, I will be talking about Chapter 10 Mastery video. So these are the questions that I will be reading off of from my computer. And then these are my notes that I will be also reading off of. All right, so first, I'm supposed to discuss in detail the concept of the organizational structure. So the organizational structure is the set of formal tasks assigned to individuals and departments. It is also formal reporting relationships and the design of systems to ensure effective coordination of employees across departments. So organizational structure is a big basis of the organization. It shows the leaders, and then it goes down to the lowest amount of employment there is. And so next, I'm going to talk about the uniqueness inherent in organizational structure. So the uniqueness is, it comes from a complex form of internal and external factors that shape the structure to have a purpose. It follows strategy. So with an organizational structure being unique, it shows how each department is separated into each groups and the employees and how everything leads up to the big person. So that is the big basis of the uniqueness of the organizational structure. And then next, I'm going to explain the difference between power and authority and why are these concepts significant. So first, I'm going to talk about what authority means. Authority is the formal and legitimate right of a manager to make decisions, issue orders, and allocate resources to achieve organizationally desired outcomes. Authority is also vested in organizational positions, not people, and authority flows down the vertical hierarchy, and authority is also accepted by subordinates. Now, next, I'm going to talk about what power is. Power is the ability to influence others' behavior to achieve organizational goals. And so the difference between authority and power is authority is position-based, so it is based on everybody's position, while power is the leader of something and just the leader of the group or the leader of the organization. And so authority and power are significant is because they explain how social order is maintained, and authority provides a stable and legitimate way to govern, and which is different is that power can lead to a conflict if that is not grounded in the organization. So by this means is that power is able to tell the lower people what to do, and authority is like you tell somebody, you're held accountable to do that, and you're responsible to complete that. And so next I'm going to talk about the several approaches to structures we covered in class. And so there are multiple structures. So first is organizational structure, and then there is also tall structure, flat structure, and matrix approach structure. And there's also team-based structure and virtual network structure. So organizational structure, I obviously talked about in the beginning, and it is a set of formal tasks assigned to individuals and departments. So it is obviously the highest person, and each department is separated to who they are owned, or not owned by, but like who they have to follow through by. And then next I'm going to talk about tall structure. Tall structure is the larger organization. Tall structure is the span of management that is narrow and has many hierarchical levels, something like that. But this means that, like, say a small organization grew into being a big organization. They started small and their structure became taller. So let's say there was just like a president, and then there were like 2 managers, and then just a couple, and then employees. And then they grew up to be bigger, just like the WNCC organizational chart did. And then flat structure is the span of management that is wide and has few hierarchical levels. So this is a smaller organization where there's not very many levels, and it's just flat based, where there's not much to understand. That it's just smaller. And it is a common structural problem that has too many levels with a span that is too narrow. And then next is the matrix approach structure. This also can be like combined with other structures or just combined with other organizations. And it is combined both with functional and divisional approaches simultaneously in the same part of the organization. It also improves coordination and motivation, and the dual lines of authority make the matrix unique. So it's just like, it's a different type of organization. It's not or a different type of structure. It's mainly overlooked, but it is a combine of two things that could happen at once. And then also I'm going to talk about team-based structure. Team-based structure is the entire organization that is made up of horizontal teams that can coordinate their work and work directly with customers to accomplish the organization's goals. And so this is a big outlook on not just what is happening in the organization, but they also get information from other customers and stuff like that. And then virtual network structure is the firm subcontracts most of its major functions to separate companies and coordinates their activities from a small organization at headquarters. So this mainly talks about different, like it's a big company, like say it's like Walmart or like Amazon. We'll say Amazon. There's a big capital for Amazon, but they separate into different places, like in different countries. So that is a good visual for virtual network structure. And then next I'm going to talk about how I'm going to explain the relationship between structure and strategy. So the difference between structure and strategy is the plan, while structure is the framework with people, processes, and systems that execute the plan. So another thing is that strategy forms the plan, and it like figures out ways that the plan could be strategized, and structure is to follow through with the plan and like be organized with the plan and figure out how to meet the goal for the plan. And so that is everything I have to say for this video. So